Welp, we have to talk about this, don't we? I'm Megan Fox with pjmedia.com. You can find my columns there every day. But I wanted to jump on here and talk to you about what happened at the Oscars last night because I think it's much more important than maybe people are having a really good time laughing about it on Twitter right now. But frankly, it makes me sick. And I think we should talk about it. So last night at the Oscars, if you've been living under a rock now, I don't watch the Oscars. I usually just pay attention to what happens on Twitter afterwards, and it was sometime last night where I saw, Will Smith was trending for slapping Chris Rock, and I thought that this was a fake. I thought it was a hoax. I thought it was a setup, part of the show, and then I watched it and I realized, "Oh, yeah, no. That wasn't part of the show," and the way you can tell is that the cringe factor is way too high. It's way too awkward. Chris Rock is taken completely off guard, um and then even can't finish. I mean, he's trying to go on with the show, but he's messing up his words and stuff. Don't forget to check out the merch store. Lots of stuff in there that you're going to like, that will make you laugh, unlike this ridiculous thing that happened here. Check out the link in the description below. But let's start out with the video. Let's watch the full video of what happened here. Okay, so let's see what happened. Now, I want you to pay special attention to Will Smith's face and Jada Pinkett Smith's face.
He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Okay, so that was the joke. And let's go back again. Let's go back. Let's look at the faces of these two. Will is laughing and Jada's rolling her eyes. I mean, let's watch the whole thing because it's really look at his face. Does he look upset to you?
All right.
Now Jada rolls her eyes. Okay, perfectly acceptable. She's got alopecia. It's not funny to make a joke about somebody's alopecia, I guess. I didn't even think the joke was that funny. I mean, if you're just referencing, I mean, who cares though? It's a joke. It's the Oscars. It is about roasting celebrities. And the appropriate response was what Jada did, roll your eyes. In fact, her husband could have helped by not laughing. It would have made Chris Rock feel uncomfortable. If both of them sat there rolling their eyes and stony-faced at him, he would have moved on real quick. But they didn't. He thought everything was fine. I mean, if you told a joke and this was the reaction you got, what would you think? He thought it was fine.
That was a nice one. Okay.
And then this happened.
I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Always a professional, Chris Rock. That was such a good response.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
All right. So if you wanted to defend your wife, you could have shouted at him from the seat. But assaulting him, that's a crime. Now, Chris Rock is not going to press charges because I guess he just doesn't want to, and that's okay. He doesn't have to. But I do not like the normalizing of violence in response to words. This is something that the left has been doing for a long time. I know I talked to you guys a lot about how I see things through my viewpoint being a conservative, and this is one of those things. When I was a kid, our parents and grandparents taught us that sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. And those words are very true. And in a free society, we need to embrace that lesson. We need to pass it on to our kids. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Words are not violence. There is no excuse for responding to words with violence. Now, there is a codicil in the law. There is a law about fighting words. Okay, so there is something about fighting words in the law, but it definitely does not include a G.I. Jane joke. okay, at an Oscars event. Fighting words are much different. Fighting words are words meant to incite violence, such as they may not be protected from free speech under the First Amendment. The U.S. Supreme Court first defined them in Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire as words which, by their very utterance, inflict injury or tend to incite an immediate breach of peace. All right, let's take a look at what the Supreme Court actually said. In Terminello versus Chicago, 1949, the Supreme Court narrowed the scope of what constitutes fighting words. The court found that words which produce a clear and present danger are unprotected and are considered fighting words. But words which invite dispute and even cause unrest are protected and are not considered fighting words. There's the answer that we're looking for. This is not a fighting words issue. It was a joke. Even if it upset you, you do not have a right to come out swinging and respond with violence. So one of the things that I think is wrong with Will Smith is that let's just watch Chris Rock recover from this, because I think he did a pretty good job. But you can tell this wasn't scripted because he had a hard time finding his words, but he did recover. Let's watch him do that.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay. So we are here to give a documentary out, to give an Oscar out for Best Documentary.
He said to give a documentary out. His brain is reeling from what just happened. He's trying to figure out how is he supposed to move on from here.
Now, the beauty of documentaries, because they make you, when you watch one, you feel smart. Like you watched like you read a book or something. But all you really did was get high and watch Netflix. So here we go.
Good for him.
Here we go. The documentary.
He's still struggling. You can tell. He's struggling. Oh, it cut off here, but he's still struggling there at the end. And that's, but he did a good job. He pulled it back together and he brought the show back. But everybody who was there said that after that moment, the awkwardness never went away, that it was just the whole show was marred by this incident. Now, what occurred after this, and there's video of it, which I don't have in front of me, but what occurred after this is there were cameras still rolling during a commercial break, and like everyone came up to Will Smith to comfort him. Where were the people going to the man who was assaulted? I mean, maybe they did backstage. I don't know. But it seems like this crowd was like 100% on Will Smith's side, and I don't understand it. All right. So I put together a little montage of reactions and things on Twitter that I want you to see. All right. Look at this. I love this. Jada and everyone's spelling her name wrong on Twitter. Jada Pinkett Smith is trending instead of Pinkett. It's Pinkett, people. Pinkett. Jada Pinkett Smith in sauteed spinach. Oh my God. This is so right on. That dress, it's so crazy. And it looks like spinach. Okay, I just had to show you that because it was funny. And then we've got the worst take on Twitter by Scott Adams. And I don't really understand what the hell happened to Scott Adams, but sometime during the pandemic, he's the comedian who wrote Dilbert. Sometime during the pandemic, Scott really just went off the rails, and I don't like his take since then. And this one is probably the worst one I read. I would like to publicly condemn Will Smith for bitch slapping Chris Rock after Rock humiliated Smith's wife on live TV over her medical condition. Privately, I think the opposite, of course. Fuck Chris Rock. But I like to be a good role model, so ignore this part. Two things can be true, Scott. The joke can be tasteless, which it was. And violence cannot be acceptable, which it isn't. Violence in response to a joke, and as a comedian, you should know that. It becomes very dangerous, and I think one of the takes that I forgot to screenshot here was Kathy Griffin, who I normally disagree with totally. But Kathy Griffin said that it's a very dangerous precedent for a comedian to be assaulted on stage with no repercussion for something they said. I agree with her 100%. Violence is never the answer, and I don't know why Scott would say something like this, but I think that's nuts. Everyone hates this take, by the way. He's getting an earful. Janai Nelson said, I know we're all still processing, but the way casual violence was normalized tonight by a collective national audience will have consequences that we can't even fathom in the moment. I agree with this. This is it exactly. This is it exactly. No one did anything. No one ran to Chris Rock's help. Of course, I give the audience a pass because they probably all thought it was staged until Will Smith started screaming. That's when everybody stopped laughing and realized, oh shit, something's wrong. But having him still sit in his seat, not be escorted by security, not even be talked to by security, or have his seat moved away from the stage, at the very least, having him moved where he and watched so that he can't attack someone on the stage again. And Chris Rock was supposed to continue doing the show with the man who just assaulted him sitting right there. I'm flabbergasted by this. It is outrageous. It's outrageous. Ben Shapiro, I love Ben. Should we be surprised that so many on the left now believe that microaggressions should be met with actual physical violence? They've been clear about this for years, and they have. They've been saying that words are violence for years, and this has become ingrained in the heads of children and people with low IQs like Will Smith, that violence is an acceptable reaction to words that you don't like. Let me explain. Words that you don't like and words that are offensive and hateful, they have a right to exist. And your only way to come up and combat words you don't like is to speak more words that you do like in response. More speech is the answer, not violence. More speech. If Will Smith 45 minutes later he wins an Oscar. He had the microphone to say to the crowd, my wife has alopecia. And what Chris Rock said really harmed her. It hurt her, which is stupid. I still don't believe words harm people. But I mean, he could have said whatever he wanted to say in the microphone without assaulting someone, and he would have retained the higher ground. But by doing what he did, he doesn't have any higher ground. And I think most of us should be saying, fuck him. Like, that's absurd. It's a joke. This country is doomed if we cannot take a joke. And then the Academy goes and says the Academy does not condone violence of any form without saying anything else. Tonight, we are delighted to celebrate our 94th Academy Award winners, blah, 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 blah. What do you mean you don't condone violence? You let him do it. He went back to his seat like nothing happened and nobody did shit to him. So yeah, you do condone it. You condoned it. Doing nothing in the face of violence means you condone it. That's what it means. Sorry. That's what it means. Matt Walsh, he kills me. Sometimes Matt Walsh drives me crazy, but sometimes he's funny. Exciting news, everyone. We have the new current thing. All of the people with Ukraine flags in their bios are about to become alopecia awareness advocates. Don't forget to check out the merch store for our Support the Current Thing mug, which is now going to be alopecia. Someone needs to add, I need to add an alopecia awareness flag to the Support the Current Thing mug, which you can find in the merch store in the description link. Please check it out. Oh, that's so funny. And then somebody else responded, it's happening. Alopecia advocate praises Will Smith's Oscar slap, showed strength in the New York Post. So now we're going to be pro alopecia. See how the current thing works? This is what the current thing is. Oh, this meme. I'm done being a foreign policy specialist. This week, I'm an assault and battery expert. This is what the current thing meme means when people jump from one thing to the next because the media tells them to. It's pretty transparent. All right, Nick Watts says Jada is going to let Will Smith watch so hard tonight. Good for him. Okay, so let's get to the elephant in the room, shall we? Will and Jada have an unusual marriage. It's widely known and talked about that they have an open marriage. And actually, most of us are pretty sure it's just Jada. If you've ever looked into open marriages, everyone knows, it's always the women who want this. It's never the men. The men are, a married man is never like, hey, I want to have an open marriage. It's always the woman. And the only reason why men go along with it is to keep a hold of that woman. And, I actually am going to play for you an interview in a little bit when we get through these about with the very awkward moment where the two of them talk about this on television. Will is a cuck. I don't know if you know what a cuckold is, but he's a cuck. Like, his wife cheats on him with other men and expects him to accept it, and he accepts it. And I'm sorry, but that's not a natural state for a man, and you're going to have violent outbursts like this. I think that's what it's about. I think what it's about is that Jada has Will Smith under some kind of abusive relationship. And as you could see, he was completely smiling, happy with the joke, no problem, until he got a look at her face. And then he knew that he was supposed to do something about it for her because she runs his life. And she's hurting him. And I think it's pretty clear. I don't understand why she treats him the way she does. All right, this is a good meme. G.I. Jane joke about my wife? Nah. Other men banging my wife? Sure. Yeah. There's some deep issues here. Some very deep issues. So this is the other man that was banging his wife. And they talked about it on this television program. In fact, why don't I get that up here while we're talking about it? Jada had this TV show, I guess, where she brought her own husband on the show to talk about this. Now listen to this.
The red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So,
Okay.
You during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted
other than me.
Feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. I just wanted to feel good with someone other than my husband because my husband doesn't make me feel good. She's saying this to his face on national television.
It had been so long since I felt good.
Yeah.
And it was really a joy.
And he's nodding his head. Right.
To just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your...
Apparently this person August was very sick when he met them, and the whole family helped him recover. I don't know. They don't say what the sickness is, but it sounds like he got real close with the family, and then all of a sudden he's having an affair with Jada.
Health, or whether it's your addictions. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people.
You got to fuck people to fix them? Is that what I'm hearing?
Versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that...
And you've got to fuck other guys in order to fix yourself outside of your marriage? It's fucking weird.
That whole process with Og really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful for that lesson.
He looks broken.
I feel like that husband, I'm with you at the press conference.
He looks like he's ready to cry.
That husband, now I got to be with you at the press conference while you tell the world about your transgressions.
Well,
I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
Well, I definitely...
Even when other guys are fucking my wife. Wow. This is such beta behavior. Actually, it's more like gamma behavior. I don't know what happened to Will Smith, but I think Jada was a very bad influence on him. He doesn't have a very high self-opinion of himself. She's kind of taking that away.
I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way.
Can you imagine this being your parents on television, by the way? Don't they have 3 or 4 kids and their children have to witness this bullshit? Oh, God.
But I actually don't
talk about childhood trauma. They're inflicting it on their kids right now.
Look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity. And I was really able to do some really deep healing.
I'm sorry, but she's making cheating sound like it's therapy. I mean, what in the hell? No, get divorced. Oh, Jesus.
And as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me, which was totally understandable.
Right.
And I let that be.
So he realized that she's toxic. August realized that Jada's toxic, and he had to cut her out of his life because she brought a lot of pain. Forget about healing. Clearly, somebody who breaks all contact with you is not healed. Okay, they're in pain, Jada.
And hadn't talked to him since.
Right.
So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was...
Yeah, because he probably told somebody, like, how toxic you are.
Because for me, this was years ago, right? You know, so the fact that it's coming up now, and I think it could feel weird for people that we're laughing and talking about it, but
it happened so long ago.
Look, I'm all in favor of married couples working stuff out and being, you know, and forgiveness. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in forgiveness even after cheating. I'm not one of these people who's like, you know, you should leave your husband if he cheated on you, or leave your wife if she cheated on you. I think marriage is important, and I think that it requires a lot of hard work, and it requires forgiveness on a lot of levels. And I think it's possible to put a marriage back together after anything. But I don't think it's possible to have a good marriage if you continue this behavior. The behavior has to stop. You have to be committed to one another. And no, I don't believe open marriages work. No, I don't. There's not one example of a good, healthy relationship of people who are in an open marriage. And if you say Jada and Will, you're absolutely wrong, because this was an old interview. There have been several, like he gave an interview on GQ that was just heartbreaking about what he's been through with her. This is not a happy man. Look at his face.
And our experiences of working through it, fighting through it, talking through it.
Like, all that's good, but you have to come out on the other side with some understandings that this is not going to happen again. But that's not what happened here. All the talking through it, working through it, fighting through it ended up with Jada getting her way, which is she wants to screw other guys.
Therapizing.
Right.
And there was this part that I think I missed. It was before here, and I don't know where, so I'm not going to try and find it, but where she said, people thought that you gave me permission, and she got all like upset, and she goes, no, the only permission I need is my own. Oh my. No, that's not how marriage works. No, you are responsible to your partner. You are responsible to that other person. And I don't like the idea that because, and I think it's like a feminist thing, you know, oh, I'm a woman, I don't need any man's permission to do anything. When you're married, you both need each other's permission for a lot of things. For one, if you want to stay married, you need your husband's permission or your wife's permission to make big purchases. Because if you don't alert one another about that, that's going to cause a real big problem. You certainly need permission for financial issues. You need permission for a lot of things. And permission, that's not like one person holding the reins. Both of you have a say in it. And no, you do not just by yourself unilaterally get to decide that, oh, I'm in an open marriage now. That's insane.
Through it.
So, all right. If you guys want to watch this, I'll drop the video in the link, but I'm going to stop sharing that right now. And let's go back to the video. So then we have August. So this is the guy she was cheating on him with. All right. So here's another. I liked this meme. It's Will Smith with the Biden sticker that says, I did that, slapping the gas tank. I actually have those stickers. Someone bought them for me. I have not put them on any gas tanks, but I just thought that was funny. So I thought I would show you. All right. This person pointed out exactly what I was saying. Will Smith should have slapped himself because he laughed at Chris Rock's joke. He sure as shit did. And we saw it. I played it for you several times. He laughed. And of course, Chris Rock was looking right at him, so he thought he was fine. Randy Pryor says, let's be clear. The second this happened, Will Smith should have been immediately removed from the theater. You don't let someone assault another human. Go back to his seat. And then give him an award so he can preach about being a vessel of love. Yeah, but that's what they did. And then they had the nerve to say they don't condone violence. Maria Shriver, who, if you don't know, is a Kennedy. She is Kennedy, used to be married to Arnold Schwarzenegger. We should never get to a place where we sit and watch a movie star hit someone on global television and then moments later get a standing ovation while talking about love. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane what happened. Lawrence Jones III said, part of the reason why I'm buying it, Will Smith allows other men to sleep with his wife, but cracking a joke is a bridge too far. Exactly. It's insane. It's crazy. This meme is kind of funny. Alpha makes joke about Beta's wife looking like G.I. Jane. Beta laughs at funny joke because it's funny. Beta's wife demands her husband assaults Alpha. Beta girlishly slaps Alpha in attempt to please his wife. Beta cries about Alpha not being hurt by his weak-ass slap. Alpha laughs it off because Beta is pathetic and not worth the time. Yeah, Chris Rock decided not to press charges. And I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but it's certainly up to Chris Rock, not me. All right, so we're back to the beginning with the spinach dress, which I found was hilarious. Very, very funny. And I wish that we had better... I wish that something different had happened. I think it's all nuts. And then afterwards, this is what I wanted to leave you with. So... let's go to the best comedian to ever host the Oscars, and that would be Ricky Gervais. And he's got some wise words of wisdom for this situation.
So let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all going to die soon, and there's no sequel. So, yeah.
Exactly. Like, it's just jokes. And I mean, he roasted people at that Oscars way worse than Chris Rock did at this one. Ricky Gervais was an absolute napalm bomb. It was so good. He roasted them over Epstein. He did not hold back at all. It was brutal. And nobody tried to slap him. And like, yeah, we're all going to die soon. Can we just laugh? I just love Ricky Gervais so much.
Remember that. But you all look lovely, all dolled up. You came here in your limos. I came here in a limo tonight, and the license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no. Shush.
Look, they're groaning. But she did go to jail.
It's her daughter I feel sorry for.
Oh, boy.
Okay? That must be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to her. And her dad was in Wild Hogs. So... lots of big celebrities here tonight. I mean, legends, icons, yeah? Look, at this table alone, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Baby Yoda. That's Joe Pesci, sorry. I love you, man. Don't have me whacked. But tonight isn't just about the people in front of the camera.
Oh, God. He was so funny. And so brutal, like so much more brutal than telling a G.I. Jane joke, which, by the way, G.I. Jane was like a really sexy movie, right? She looked great in that movie. And Jada Pinkett Smith looks great without hair. Her getting upset about that was just stupid. I'm sorry. It was dumb. It's not the time. You do it after the Oscars, maybe, if you want to get on the microphone with the press and give them your story and tell them why it's important, bring some awareness to your issue or whatever. But the way you're doing it, that's not going to work. I love Ricky Gervais. I loved it. Let's just finish this out. Let's watch him.
This room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world. People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look.
Oh, the uncomfortable silence. Look at this. It's so great. This was the greatest. It was the greatest roast ever. I hate these people, and he just went after them.
Talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for paedophile movies.
Oh!
Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. Many talented people of color were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So, fifth time. So
nobody is. I mean, everyone's so uncomfortable. It's so great.
We were going to do an in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of people that had died, it wasn't diverse enough. It just, no.
Poking fun of the wokeness.
It was mostly white people. And I thought, nah, not on my watch.
Nobody cares about white people.
Maybe next year. Let's see what happens. Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way. So in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Oh my God.
You had to make your own way.
Look at their faces. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
in
so
your own
good.
plane, didn't you? Right. But seriously, most films are awful.
He just he had no reserve about going after these people hard. The Jeffrey Epstein thing is just huge. And no other comedian went after that. All right. So, I mean, you get what I mean. I mean, this was ridiculous. There have been so many other comedians who have done so much worse than this. This did not require this kind of response, and no speech ever requires a violent response. And I think this was very poorly done. And I think the Academy has a lot to answer for allowing it to go on. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And you can always find me on pjmedia.com, where I will be writing articles and here reading to you. So please like and subscribe. And let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love reading your comments. I read every single one. So let's get the conversation going. What did you think about all this? All right, guys, take care. Talk to you later.